I always wanted to color with watercolors. I actually bought some in real life, but I never got to use them sadly. However, I always see these beautiful watercolor-like brushes in Procreate and I've always wanted to try them out. So I decided to finally use these watercolor brushes in Procreate to experiment a little bit. We'll see how I do. This is my very first time, so it might not be perfect. But I will be sharing some tips I learned along the way. I have prepared a sketch already since we will be coloring first and then doing the line art above. So we are kind of going in reverse this time. And who else than Eiichiro to be my model when I try out new techniques. So there are a couple of brushes to remember. We're going to be going back and forth with these brushes. And nope, you do not need to download brushes or buy them. These are all included in Procreate. Our main two watercolor brushes will be found in the Artistic tab. The base watercolor brush is called Old Beach, and the one we will be using to blend everything together is called Quoll. For a rough stroke, we will be using Blotchy in the Calligraphy tab, but that will be mainly for the line art. We are going to start with the Old Beach brush in a small to medium size. We will select a light skin tone as our base, and we will slowly start packing darker and darker shades. To blend it all in, we are using the brush Quoll with a lighter color, almost white, and creating some highlights on the features that are going to be directed towards the light source, which in this case would be the front and left side of the face. Now, back with the Old Beach brush, I want this to look soft and warm, so the shading will almost be a dark pink shade. We will go under the chin where it connects to the neck, on the right side of the face, opposite to the light source, on deeper areas such as the contour of the cheeks, under the eyebrows, and so on. Now go back with a Quoll brush with the same pink shade and blend everything nicely but messy at the same time. With watercolors, you do not need to be precise and clean. The messier the strokes, the more watercolor-like effect it gives. I'm adding even darker shades on certain areas of the face. I tried using the wash brush on the water tab, but I did not love the effect. It was too blurry, so we're not using it again. For the eyes, we need a white tone, so the watercolors will only keep blending and blending. So, we will use the other brush called Water Pen under the Calligraphy tab. It will allow us to draw over with white without blending it in. With the Blotchy brush in the Calligraphy tab, we will take almost a black color and start creating some eyelashes and more details on the eyes. With the same dark pink color, we will go back and forth with Old Beach and Quoll to add more shadows and blending them out. Take that blotchy brush again, and with a darker red color, we will create the line art of the skin. We don't want black on all of the line art, since it will lose the soft vibe we're going for. After you're done with the lines, go back with our blending brush, Quoll, and with a light pink tone, softly run your pen on the edges of the line art to smooth out the lines you just created. We will do the same, but now with the white lines using water pen. Then we will smooth out the lines with the Quoll brush. We want everything to have structure, but also blended like watercolors. Before we move on, I'm going to create a texturized canvas as if we were actually coloring in watercolor paper. You can do this step at the beginning, but I wanted to have some of the coloring done to show the difference of the painting with and without the texturized canvas. Create a new layer at the top of all of your layers. Go to the Sketching tab and select the Soft Pastel brush. Size up the brush to the maximum. Make your canvas small, and then just run the brush softly above it. Don't press too hard, as we want it to look as soft as possible. You will see it has a very dull appearance. Change this layer's blending mode to multiply. and play with the opacity percentage until you're satisfied. I went ahead and lowered it down to 30%. Now continue with the rest of the skin. I will fast forward this part since it may be too repetitive. Don't be afraid to mix up different tones and shades, since usually when painting with watercolors, your brushes mix up the color of another part of the painting, creating a different mix of colors. That's the effect we're trying to create. Again, messy but soft. For the dress, I wanted to keep it somewhat monotone, so I'm coloring it with a cream color, almost white, going quick and random on it. We will repeat the steps that we did on the face, grabbing the blotchy brush to create some line art with a darker shade, and then going back with the quoll brush with the cream color to blend it out. I will color the cat black for 2 reasons. 1, I have a black cat and she's my muse. And 2, since Robin's hair is black, I wanted to have a balance on the artwork since we are doing everything monotone. With the All Beach brush, I will randomly color strokes all over the cat. Depending on the pressure of the pen, it will create a very light or very strong shading. We want a mixture of both to make the appearance of fur. Now we will create some details on the face to give it shape. I added the little golden fringe my cat has. With the All Beach brush and a dark gray, almost black color, we will shape Robin's hair following our sketch. With the quoll brush, we will add lighter shades and create some shine all across the hair. We will even create some sharper hair strands with the blotchy brush on a darker color. For the bandana, we are making it monotone, with some brown tones, a little bit of sage green, and using white for blending with the quoll brush. Finally, for the background, you can pretty much go messy, or even just add a simple color. I wanted to make her as if she was sitting on a wooden chair outside of the ship's deck. Therefore, I made a nice blue sky with a couple of clouds and made the ocean and some islands along the way, and some seagulls flying around just to give it a little bit of atmosphere. And that is it. It's multiple steps, but basically you're just going back and forth with our 2 main brushes, All Beach and Quoll, and a little bit of blotchy. There's no need to buy or download any brushes, although you could if you're looking to have a more accurate and defined watercolor experience. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. This was my very first time, so I know there is a lot of room for improvement. I will definitely keep practicing, and if you try this out, definitely show me, tag me on your social media. I would love to see it. Thank you, and don't forget to check out my other tutorials, and I'll see you on the next one.